Welcome to 위대한 수업, The Great Minds. I'm James Cameron, and I'm a filmmaker and I'm an explorer. So far I've done 8 expeditions over the years, and we've built, robotic vehicles to go in and explore the inside of the Titanic, for example, doing a full archaeological survey of the inside of that wreck, and also the Bismarck, the famous German battleship. And explored hydrothermal vents with 3D cameras and special lighting that we built and all these things. So I work with a really talented team of engineers that aren't afraid of anything. We decided to build a vehicle to go to the deepest place in the world's oceans. And the logic there was that these deep trenches that are all over the world, which total up to an area, if you added up all the deep trenches in the world, they total up to an area about the size of North America. So it's essentially a completely unexplored continent right here on planet Earth in the 21st century that nobody's gone and looked. A couple places here and there people have looked, but with cameras, with remote cameras, but for the most part, almost completely unexplored and unsampled. So I thought, well, if we build a vehicle that can take a person, a pilot, myself, because I wanted to do it myself, to the deepest place on the planet, then you can do all of the trenches. You could literally go anywhere. You're not limited. So we decided to set that as our goal. The Challenger Deep is the deepest spot on our planet. And it's 10,000 some meters deep, almost 11 kilometers down. And that's a lot of water over your head. It's like saying I found a higher spot on Mount Everest. We designed the sub, we built it. It took 7 years, and we took it out to sea and we test dove it. I think my first test dive inside the sub was to the earth-shattering depth of 1 meter. I only needed to get it just under the surface so we could test all the acoustic communication systems. The second dive was 20 meters. And then the next dive after that was 1,000 meters. What are we wasting time at 1,000 meters for? Let's go to 4,000 meters. That's deeper than Titanic. So our next dive was 4,000 meters. And it went on like that, and we went through our testing program. We built ourselves up to going out to Challenger Deep. The only problem was we had a great sub, but we didn't have a great handling system to get the sub in and out of the water. It was a little bit ad hoc, and it was just sort of fitted to the ship in a kind of a rush job, and it wasn't very good. Uh-oh, that's not good.
Got a lot of failures here. We got a problem.
We need to really note there's an emergency.
So there was a sea state beyond which we couldn't launch in, and it was only about 1.5 meters sea. And we looked at the weather, and we weren't going to have anything less than about a 2.5 meter sea for several days. But there was one moment where it was going to lie down for a few hours, and unfortunately, it was at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I said, all right, guys, we're diving at 4 o'clock in the morning. Now, we had done 10 test dives up to that point, but we had always launched in the daytime and recovered at night. And that worked beautifully because you could see the sub clearly. All of our surface operations could be clearly managed in the daytime. And then at night when the sub came back to the surface, I just turned all the lights on. They could see me from 10 miles away if I didn't come up where I was supposed to. Well, we did it exactly the opposite. So I got in the sub at 4 o'clock in the morning. They put me in the water. Nobody could see what the hell they were doing. We managed to get it in the water and get diving. And I was going to come up in the daytime where the sub only stuck up about that far above the surface of the water. So imagine in a large swell out in the daytime with white caps, you can't see the damn thing. But anyway, we managed to pull the whole thing off. But it was there was a fair bit of trepidation building up to the dive and a lot of thinking and planning and so on. But the moment that I was in there and they got the hatch bolted shut, it was just pure excitement. It's like, all right, I'm really going. I'm going to get to see what's down there. And that's what drove me to do the whole thing. Well, I love filmmaking, and the Avatar films are a huge project. I hope I'm able to carve out time to do more expeditions, develop new deep ocean technology. First of all, the deep trenches are, as I said, completely unexplored. And so there's so much to look at down there and so much to investigate. I've spent, by my rough estimate, somewhere around 5,000 hours underwater, most of that on scuba, a lot of it free diving, a lot of it even in diving helmets, believe it or not, which I learned how to do when I was making the Abyss, and about 500 or 600 hours in deep submersible vehicles. In fact, at this point in time, I'm a registered ROV pilot. I'm a registered deep submersible pilot as well. So you see, this is where curiosity will take you. Exploration is only curiosity acted upon. You have to actually go do it.